I'm not comfortable around you anymore, Dylan. I haven't been comfortable in months. Maybe longer. The words hit me like a rock straight to my chest as Harper stood there, wallpaper paste still on her fingers, tears starting to build in those green eyes I knew so well. My heart just stopped. We had been putting up wallpaper in my new place, laughing and making jokes like we always did. Now she looked ready to cry. What did she mean she was not comfortable around me? Had I done something wrong to hurt her? Harper and I had been friends for 2 whole years. 2 years of coffee dates and movie nights. 2 years of me helping her move boxes and her helping me fix things I broke. She was my best friend, the person I called when good things happened. But lately, something felt different. The way she looked at me when she thought I was not watching. How her hand would touch mine when we passed tools back and forth. The way my stomach did flips every time she smiled at me, like I was special. I never said anything because I was scared. Scared to lose her. Scared to find out she did not feel the same way. So I kept my mouth shut, and pretended that being just friends was enough, even though it felt like lying to myself every single day. Now she stood 3 feet away, looking like her world was falling apart. The afternoon sun came through my window, and made her hair look like fire. She took a deep breath, and I knew whatever came next would change everything between us. Forever. Harper, what do you mean? I asked, my voice coming out rough and quiet. She wiped her hands on her jeans, leaving small streaks of paste. Her bottom lip was shaking just a little bit. The room felt too small, too quiet, like the whole world was holding its breath. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it again. My chest felt tight. What was she about to tell me? Did she know how I really felt about her? Was she about to say she could not be around me anymore because she knew the truth? The silence stretched between us like a rubber band ready to snap. Whatever Harper was about to say next would either bring us closer together or tear us apart forever. And I had no clue which one. I could hear my heart beating loud in my ears. My hands felt sweaty and cold. This was it. This was the moment that would decide if Harper would stay in my life or walk away forever. There was no going back now. She was about to change everything between us. Like this video, subscribe and tell me where you are watching from. Let me go back to how this whole day started. It was 10 in the morning when I heard a knock at my door. I opened it, and there was Harper, holding a big toolbox in one hand and a silver coffee cup in the other. She had this huge smile on her face. Ready to fix this place up? She asked, walking past me into my empty living room. She looked around at the bare walls and shook her head. Dylan, you have lived here for 3 weeks. These walls are still white and boring. We need to make this feel like home. I took the coffee she held out to me. It was still hot and smelled amazing. You did not have to come help me today. I know you have other things to do. She always made the best coffee, better than any shop in town. I took a sip and felt warm all over. Stop being silly, she said, opening her toolbox. I brought everything we need. The wallpaper you picked is pretty. Those little blue flowers will look perfect in here. But first, we need to get these walls ready. She pulled out some tools I had never seen before. Harper wore old jeans and a soft yellow shirt. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun, but little pieces kept falling around her face. Every time she moved, I caught a smell of her perfume. It reminded me of flowers after it rains. It made my head feel light. We started by cleaning the walls. Harper showed me how to wipe them down with a damp cloth. You have to get all the dust off first, she explained, moving her hand in small circles. If you do not, the wallpaper will not stick right. I watched her work. The way she moved was so smooth and sure. She knew exactly what she was doing. When she reached up high, her shirt lifted a little, and I could see a small piece of her back. My mouth went dry, and I had to look away quick. Your turn, she said, handing me the cloth. Our fingers touched when she passed it over. Just for a second, but it felt like lightning went up my arm. I wondered if she felt it too. Her cheeks looked a little pink, but maybe that was from working. We spent the next hour getting the walls ready. Harper kept making jokes about my cleaning skills. Dylan, you missed a whole spot right there, she would say, pointing and laughing. Good thing I am here to fix your mistakes. But she said it nice, not mean, like she enjoyed taking care of me. When we started putting up the first piece of wallpaper, things got tricky. The paper was long and kept wanting to fold on itself. Harper held one end while I held the other. We had to stretch it out wide to make it lay flat on the wall. This is harder than it looks, I said, trying to keep my end from curling up. Harper came over to help me. She stood right behind me, reaching around to smooth the paper. I could feel the warmth from her body against my back. My heart started beating fast. "Just go slow," she whispered near my ear. Her breath was warm on my neck. I closed my eyes for just a second. This was torture. Having her so close but not being able to turn around and kiss her, not being able to tell her how I really felt. We worked side by side for the next 2 hours. Every time we had to reach for the same tool, our hands would touch. Every time she laughed at something I said, I felt like I could fly. This was how it always was with Harper. Easy and fun and perfect, but also painful because I wanted so much more. "You know what your problem is?" Harper asked, stepping back to look at our work. She had paste on her cheek and did not know it. I wanted to reach over and wipe it off, but I did not dare. "You try too hard to make everything perfect. Sometimes you just have to let things happen." Easy for you to say. You are good at this stuff. I break everything I touch. I was only half joking. Last month I tried to fix my bathroom sink and ended up flooding my whole apartment. Harper had to come over with towels and a plumber friend. "You do not break everything," she said softly. She was looking right at me now, not at the wallpaper. Something in her voice made my chest feel tight. "You just need someone to show you the right way." The room got quiet, too quiet. We both just stood there looking at each other. I wanted to say something, anything, but what could I say? That I thought about her every morning when I woke up, that I saved funny stories all day just to tell her later, that I was falling in love with my best friend and it scared me to death. Instead, I just smiled and picked up another piece of wallpaper. "Come on, teacher, show me what to do next." But inside, my heart was breaking a little bit, because I knew this day would end and she would go home, and I would be alone again, wishing I was brave enough to tell her the truth. Harper smiled back, but something sad flickered in her eyes. Like maybe she was thinking the same thing I was. Like maybe she wanted to say something too, but could not find the words. The moment hung between us like a question neither of us knew how to ask. We moved on to the second wall. This one was bigger, and would need more pieces to cover it. Harper measured each strip carefully with a yellow tape measure. She wrote numbers on the back with a pencil. Her tongue stuck out a little when she focused, which I thought was cute. "I used to hate doing this," Harper said as she cut another piece. She did not look at me when she said it. Her voice sounded different, quieter, like she was telling me a secret she had never told anyone else before. "Hate wallpaper? But you are so good at it." I held the ladder steady while she marked where the next piece would go. She climbed down and stood next to me, close enough that I could see the tiny freckles on her nose. "My mom made me help her redo our dining room when I was 12, Harper said. She folded the paper carefully and set it on my table. "It took us 3 whole days. We both cried so many times. She kept saying it had to be perfect, that people would think bad things about us if it looked wrong." I had never heard Harper talk about her mom like this. Usually she just said her parents lived far away and they did not talk much. I always wondered why, but never asked. Now she was opening up to me in a way she never had before. That sounds awful. No kid should have to worry about being perfect. I meant it. The thought of little Harper crying over crooked wallpaper made my chest hurt. I wanted to hug 12-year-old her and tell her she was already perfect, just the way she was. Harper nodded and picked up the brush to spread paste on the wall. She had this thing about what other people thought. Every room in our house had to look like a magazine. I could never just be a kid. Everything had to be clean and pretty and perfect all the time. "Is that why you became a designer? To make things perfect for other people?" I asked. We lifted the next piece together, our arms crossed as we positioned it on the wall. I tried to focus on the paper and not on how close she was to me. At first maybe, but then I learned something different. Harper smoothed out a bubble with her hands. Her fingers moved so gently over the paper. Perfect does not matter. What matters is making people feel good in their own space, making them feel safe and happy and at home. The way she said the word home made me look at her, really look at her. There was something in her voice that I had never heard before, like she was still searching for that feeling herself, like maybe she had never really felt at home anywhere. "Is that what you do for me? Try to make me feel at home?" The question came out before I could stop it. Harper stopped smoothing the paper. Her hand stayed pressed against the wall. She did not turn to look at me. The silence stretched between us. I could hear cars outside and the old buildings settling around us. But mostly I could hear my own heart beating too fast. I wished I could take the question back. Or maybe I wished I could ask her 100 more questions like it. "Maybe," she whispered finally. "Or maybe you already make me feel that way, and I want to return the favor." She still did not look at me. Her cheeks were getting pink again. I wanted to touch her face, to make her look at me, but I did not dare. We worked on the next piece in quiet, but it felt different now, heavy, like we were both thinking things we could not say out loud. Every time our hands touched, Harper would pull away quick, like she was scared of what might happen if she did not. Harper, I said her name softly. Just her name, but when she looked up at me, her face went bright red. She turned away fast and pretended to be busy with the wallpaper. But I saw how her hands shook a little as she smoothed the edges. Why did saying her name make her blush like that? Had I said it different somehow, or was she feeling the same electric pull that I felt every time she was near me? The thought made my stomach flip over. We should take a break, Harper said quickly. She wiped her hands on a rag and walked over to the window. She stood there looking out at the street below. Her shoulders were tight like she was holding something back, something she wanted to say but could not. I stayed by the wall, watching her. The afternoon sun made her hair glow like copper. She was beautiful. She had always been beautiful. But right now, standing in my apartment with paste on her shirt and her hair falling out of its bun, she took my breath away. "Why do you do this?" I asked. The question hung in the air between us. Harper turned around but did not meet my eyes. She looked at the floor, at the walls, anywhere but at me. "Help me. I mean, every time I mess something up, you show up with tools and solutions and really good coffee." Harper was quiet for a long time, so long that I thought maybe she would not answer at all. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "Maybe I like fixing things." She still would not look at me. "I am not a broken table, Harper." I took a step toward her, then another. She still would not look up. "What are you really doing here?" My voice came out rougher than I meant it to. But I needed to know. I needed to understand why she kept showing up in my life like sunshine after rain. Harper finally looked up at me. Her green eyes were bright with something I could not name. Fear maybe, or hope, or both, at the same time. We stood there looking at each other, and I felt like we were standing on the edge of a cliff. One more step and everything would change. "Harper," I started to say something important, something that had been building inside me for months, but she turned away again before I could find the words. The moment broke like glass, leaving us both standing in the pieces. Harper looked down at her hands. They were shaking just a little bit. She wiped them on her jeans again, but the shaking did not stop. I had never seen her look so scared before. She was always the strong one, the one who knew what to do. "I mean, I show up here with tools and coffee because I want to be near you," she said, her voice so quiet I had to lean closer to hear. "I make up reasons to come over. I tell myself you need help, but really I just miss you when I am not here." My heart started beating so fast I thought it might jump out of my chest. Was she saying what I thought she was saying? After 2 years of hiding how I felt, was Harper telling me she felt the same way? "I think about you when I am working," she went on, still not looking at me. "When I design bedrooms for other people, I wonder what yours looks like. I wonder if you sleep on the left side or the right side. I wonder if you dream about me the way I dream about you." I could not breathe. This was not real. This could not be happening. Harper, my beautiful, perfect Harper, was telling me she thought about me the same way I thought about her. All those nights I lay awake wishing she was next to me. She was doing the same thing. "Harper," I whispered, but she held up her hand to stop me. "I am tired of pretending," she said, finally looking up at me. Her green eyes were bright with tears that had not fallen yet. "I am tired of acting like we are just friends when you look at me the way you are looking at me right now." "How am I looking at you?" I asked. My voice came out rough and low. I already knew the answer, but I needed to hear her say it. I needed to know she saw what I was feeling. "Like you are afraid I might disappear if you blink," she said. A single tear rolled down her cheek. "Like I am the most important thing in your whole world. Like you love me." The word hung in the air between us. Love. She had said it out loud. The thing I had been too scared to even think about most days. But hearing it from her lips made it real, made it possible. "Maybe because I am," I said, taking a step closer to her. "Afraid you might disappear. I mean, you are the best thing in my life, Harper. You have been since the day we met. And yes, I do love you. I have loved you for so long I forgot what it felt like not to love you." Harper let out a shaky breath. More tears were falling now, but she was smiling too, that beautiful smile that made my whole world brighter. "Really?" she asked, like she could not believe it was true. "Really," I said. "I love the way you hum when you work. I love how you always bring me coffee that tastes better than anything I can make. I love that you show up when I need help before I even ask. I love your laugh and your freckles, and the way you make everything better just by being there." She was crying harder now, but still smiling. "Dylan, I have been in love with you for months, maybe since the beginning. I just did not know how to tell you. I was so scared you would run away if you knew how I really felt." "I would never run away from you," I said, reaching out to touch her face. My hand stopped just inches from her cheek. "Can I?" I asked. She nodded, closing her eyes. Her skin was so soft under my fingers, softer than I had ever imagined. I wiped away her tears with my thumb, and she leaned into my touch like she had been waiting for it her whole life. Maybe she had been. Maybe we both had been waiting for this moment. "I was so scared," she whispered, her eyes still closed. "So scared. You did not feel the same way. So scared I would lose you if I told you the truth." "You could never lose me," I said, moving closer until there was barely any space between us. "Harper, you are stuck with me now, forever if you want." She opened her eyes and looked right into mine. "Forever sounds perfect," she said. We stood there for what felt like hours but was probably only seconds, just looking at each other, really looking, not hiding anymore, not pretending, just two people who had finally found the courage to tell the truth. "Dylan," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Yeah? Kiss me." I did not need to be asked twice. I cupped her face in both hands and leaned down until our lips were almost touching. I could feel her breath on my mouth, sweet and warm. I could smell her perfume and the coffee we had shared earlier. "Are you sure?" I asked, because I needed to know this was real, that she really wanted this as much as I did. "I have never been more sure of anything in my life," she said. So I kissed her, soft at first, gentle, like she might break if I was not careful. But then she kissed me back, her arms going around my neck, pulling me closer, and it was like coming home after being lost for years. She tasted like coffee and hope and everything I had ever wanted. When she made a small sound against my lips, I felt it all the way down to my toes. This was what I had been missing. This was what love was supposed to feel like. We kissed until we were both breathing hard, until my head was spinning and my heart felt like it might burst from happiness. When we finally pulled apart, Harper rested her forehead against mine. "Wow," she said, laughing a little. "Yeah," I agreed, because I could not think of any other words. My brain had stopped working the moment her lips touched mine. "So what happens now?" she asked, her fingers playing with the hair at the back of my neck. "Now," I said, pulling her closer, "we stop pretending to be just friends." Harper smiled against my lips, her hands still tangled in my hair. We stayed like that for a long moment, just holding each other, both of us trying to catch our breath. I could not believe this was real. That she was here in my arms, that she loved me back. "Your heart is beating so fast," she said, pressing her palm against my chest. Her touch sent warmth spreading through my whole body. "Are you okay?" "Better than okay," I said, covering her hand with mine. "I feel like I just woke up from the longest dream. Except this time, the dream is real, and you are here." She laughed, that sweet sound I had fallen in love with months ago. "I am here," she said, "and I am not going anywhere." She looked around the room and started giggling. "Oh my goodness, Dylan, look at what we did." I turned to see what she was talking about. The wallpaper we had been working on was completely crooked. One corner had come loose and was hanging down like a sad flag. There were air bubbles everywhere, and the pattern did not match up at all. "We made a mess," I said, but I was laughing too. "This looks terrible." "The worst wallpaper job in history," Harper agreed, wiping her eyes. "My design teacher would cry if she saw this. We got so caught up in talking that we forgot to pay attention to what we were doing." "Should we fix it?" I asked, though honestly I did not care about the wallpaper anymore. All I cared about was the girl standing next to me, her hand still in mine. "Later," she said, squeezing my fingers. "Right now I just want to look at you, really look at you, without having to pretend I do not want to." So we did. We stood there in my messy living room, surrounded by tools and crooked wallpaper, just looking at each other. Her eyes were still a little red from crying, but they were bright and happy. I reached up and tucked a piece of hair behind her ear. "I love your freckles," I said, tracing them with my finger. "I used to count them when you were not looking." "That is so sweet," she said, blushing. "I love your eyes. They are like chocolate, warm chocolate on a cold day." We were being silly, saying all the things we had kept inside for so long. But it felt good. It felt right, like we were making up for lost time. "So what now?" I asked. "Do we go on a real date? Do I ask you to be my girlfriend? I have no idea how this works when you start with friendship." Harper grinned. "Well, you could start by asking me to stay for dinner. I brought groceries in my car. I was hoping maybe we could cook together after we finished the wallpaper." "You brought groceries?" I asked, amazed. "You really did think of everything." "I always think of everything when it comes to you," she said. "I have been taking care of you for 2 years, Dylan. I am not going to stop now just because we finally kissed." The way she said it made my chest feel warm and full. She had been taking care of me. All those times she showed up with coffee, or helped me fix things, or listened to me complain about work. She had been loving me in her own quiet way, and I had been too scared to see it. "I want to take care of you too," I said. "I want to bring you coffee in the morning and fix things when they break and listen when you have bad days. I want to be the person you call when something good happens." "You already are that person," she said softly. "You have been for a long time." We kissed again, slower this time, less desperate and more sure, like we had all the time in the world now. When we pulled apart, Harper looked around the room again. "You know what this place needs?" she asked. "Better wallpaper," I suggested. "No," she said, laughing. "It needs to feel like home, real home. The kind of place where you can be yourself and feel safe and loved." "How do we do that?" I asked. Harper walked over to the window and looked out at the street below. The sun was starting to set, painting everything golden. "We fill it with memories," she said. "Good memories. Like today. Like this moment right here." She turned back to me, and something in her expression made my heart skip. She looked so beautiful standing there in the light, her hair glowing like fire. "Come here," she said, holding out her arms. I walked over to her, and she wrapped her arms around my waist. I put mine around her shoulders, pulling her close. We fit together perfectly, like two pieces of a puzzle that had finally found each other. "You know what my mom used to tell me?" Harper asked, her voice muffled against my chest. "What?" "She said that home is not a place. It is a feeling. It is the feeling you get when you are with the people who love you exactly as you are." I tightened my arms around her. "Then I have been homeless for a long time," I said. "Until now." "Me too," she whispered. We stood there as the sun went down, holding each other in my crooked, messy living room. The wallpaper was still hanging loose, the tools were still scattered on the floor, but none of that mattered anymore. "Harper," I said. "Spread your arms wide," I said, remembering what she had told me earlier about the wallpaper. "Until they fit around everything you want to keep." She pulled back to look at me, smiling. "Is that what you want? To keep me?" "Forever," I said. "If you will let me." "Forever sounds perfect," she said, and then she spread her arms wide and pulled me close again. I held her tight, breathing in the smell of her hair, feeling her heart beat against mine. This was home, not the apartment or the furniture or even the terrible wallpaper. This, her, us, the wallpaper could wait. Everything else could wait. Right now, all that mattered was that I had found my home in Harper's arms, and she had found hers in mine. Like this video, subscribe and let me know. Have you ever had a friend become something more? Share your story in the comments below.